Hello, this video is what I think about Durango, Colorado. It's part of my video series of cities in America that I've lived in. Durango, I lived there for like 5 years. Went to college there for like 4.5 years. I spent like 2 summers there or something. It's a really pretty city. It's about 13,000 people with 4,000 college kids. So I guess like 9,000 normal people. I think it's a lot bigger now. I haven't been there since '97. But the campus is like up above the city. So the campus is like its own city. Like wherever you go, it's only campus. And then you look off and all you see are the mountains and you don't see the city. It's like probably one of the most beautiful campuses in the world. It's awesome. And really great mountain biking. Like when I was a freshman there, it's not like that anymore. And it wasn't like that when I left. But when I was first there were trails like right next to the town. Right next to the campus. Mountain bike trails. Like literally, the trail started like 100 meters from my door, from my dorm door, is where the trail started. And I went out there, I rode, and boom, I was out and I could go out on all kinds of single track, all around the school, and then over, up this valley called like Dead Horse Gulch or something, and then up another single track, down over the ridge, overlooking the campus. Oh my God, talking about it, I'm remembering Durango. I want to go back there. It's fucking beautiful. I should go back there and live there for like a couple of months. But yeah, and then the other side of town, there's this other big butte you can go up to, ride up and then down. I did a lot of mountain biking my freshman year and skiing because there's a ski resort that's only a half-hour away called Purgatory, which is a really big ski resort. And we had a really big ski year that year, snow year, and we skied all day long over through the powder. I had tele class with my friend Andy. We had telemark class, and so we skied there after school. I wish I had a car though. My mom is a fucking idiot. She sold this badass like 67 fucking 600 horsepower fucking muscle car that was my grandmother's. It was perfect. Had like 60,000 miles on it. For like $75 to some dude. And she could have just given it to me and then I had a car because I didn't have a car. I couldn't drive up to the ski resort. I was always at the whim of somebody else. And then I did get it. Actually, my dad did get me a car at the end of the year. It was a Volkswagen van and it never worked. Literally. It never worked. So I was afraid to drive it. But anyways, I'm not going to talk about my life there because I already did a video about that. But the city itself, it's kind of like the city and the kids who go there, there's definitely like a hippie element to it. But it's not the same kind of hippie as Boulder. Like I thought I was like hippie when I was in Boulder, but Boulder's different. Boulder is like hippie granola, I guess, but you don't look hippie. In Durango, the hippies like were dressed hippie. They're dressed like kind of like the chicks in Portland dress with those deadhead dresses, the plaid one-piece dresses, like straight out of like the 30s Depression or something like that. And then the dreadlocks and the patchouli, and then follow the dead around. Like I didn't see any people like that in Boulder, but so it's kind of different. But yeah, there's lots of people like that there, like environmentalists. I was a crazy hippie environmentalist the last year I was there, but there's also lumberjacks there, like really like neocon conservative, like I guess who even get money logging and stuff, who don't like the hippies. So it's kind of like this, like us against them. And then there's this other like gangster element. Gangster kids living on the south side, on the old part, which I had an altercation with once. But yeah, the kids who go to the school, it's really easy to get into school. Like I knew a girl who dropped out of school after 7th grade who got in there, and like my friend went there, he never even graduated high school, who went there. And the teachers, there's lots of really stupid teachers there who don't know what they're doing, and maybe they didn't even graduate high school. And like, yeah, lots of like stupid people go there. But lots of like, like boring people, like nerdy types from like Hobunk towns, like in Colorado go there. But lots of like, I saw like lots of like really cool smart people go there too. Like from out of state who are like, Durango, cool, I like it, let's go. So yeah, so a lot of them go there too. So yeah, it was a pretty good mix of different people who go there. A lot of really cool people go there, went to school there. But then the town itself, it's not as like athletic as you would think it would be. I'm sure it's like that now. I'm sure it has blown since I've been there. in the last 13 years, I'm sure it's like totally athletic, and has like supplanted the whole lumberjack, like, you know, like, or people who don't really do anything outside. They just grew up there and they're like, whatever. But yeah, good skiing there, but big cyclists. Like when I went there, the first world champion mountain biker was there, lived there. And then the mountain biker who won the second world championship lived there. Because the first world championships were there. But then the dudes who won the world championships actually lived there too, you know? Like the dude who won the world downhill mountain bike championships lived there. The dude who who won the first world championships, who was there, lived there. The girl who won the world championship downhill mountain bike lived there. And then like some other girls, like Cindy Whitehead, this big boob girl who was #1 mountain biker, lived there. I think she did. Oh, and Bob Roll lives there. He did the Tour de France like 4 times. Yeah, Daryl Price, he was a top dog mountain biker. Met over in John Tomac and Missy Giove. Oh, Julia Furtado was the #1 female mountain biker, like best ever. She won every single race except for one in '93. She lived there. So big time mountain bikers, and also kayakers. I guess some of the best kayakers live there too. There's this big river that goes right through the middle that has good kayaking. And then there's some other like mountain rivers around that are like really hardcore kayaking. Like you can kayak down the big ass river from Purgatory all the way down to the city. I don't know how that's possible because it seems like a really narrow hardcore, but it's hardcore kayaking. And I kayaked there a few times the last summer I was there because I had a kayak. Yeah, a lot of Indians are there. A lot of Native Americans go to school there because they can go to school there free. Like my best friend from college was a Native American. He went there for free, Navajo, full blood. Really good road biking there though. Better mountain biking there than Boulder because the mountain biking's like right from the city and it's all single track, and there's like, you know, you don't have to share it with like RARs or double track. It's all single track, crazy amounts of single track. And I wish I had mountain biked more when I was there. I had years, there were 2 years there where I didn't mountain bike at all. And I didn't ski at all. It was crazy. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I was just like smoking weed. It was fucking stupid. But I did have some years where I did do some mountain biking. And I definitely ridden like all the trails around there at least once. And yeah, it's awesome mountain biking. Like there's a trail, I never did this trail and I got to do it now. I can't believe I didn't do it, but it's a single track that goes all the way from Durango to Telluride, and I got to do that one once. But yeah, single track up in the mountains, go on forever, zoom really fast. Oh man, it's amazing. And the road biking is good too. You can ride all through the wintertime, down south, down to Farmington, New Mexico, like in the winter. And yeah, lots of roads going everywhere with some hills. And then go skiing, you know, that day. It's really cool. And yeah, but good road biking in the mountains too. You can ride up the road to Purgatory and then over to Silverton, and then back. And there's some big bike races there too. There's this one ride that these dudes do every year called the Death Ride, where it's like 229 miles over 29,000 feet, which goes from Durango to Silverton to Ouray to Ridgeway to Telluride, to almost to Cortez, some other town, just I can't remember, back to Durango. I did that once by myself, but I stopped at that little town right before Durango because it got late and I didn't want to ride through the night. I started too early. And I was going to do it again, but I never got around to it. But then I did it with my friends. And like me and 2 other friends actually ended up finishing it. Yeah. And that was pretty fun. It took us 20 hours. Exactly how long I predicted it would take us. But I want to do that again. It's kind of the equivalent of the Grand Loop, which is the death ride of Boulder, which I've done by myself once without training. Gonna do that again one day. There's a lot of rides in Boulder that I haven't done, but that's my Boulder video that I need to do. And like what else? Then there's oh yeah, there's these hot springs that are between Durango and this other town called like, oh man, I can't remember any of the towns around there. Pagosa Springs. And it's like an hour drive, or maybe even less, 45 minutes from Durango. And then you drive up a road like 7 miles, and then you hike down like 3 miles to this river, and there are these hot springs that are right out of the river that you can hang out at, and big ones, and it's awesome. Yeah, so Durango, Fort Lewis has freaking natural hot springs. And there's these other hot springs that are at the base of Wolf Creek Pass, which is like an hour away from Durango or something. Then you have to hike like 9 miles or something, which I went to once when I was a freshman in college. And it's right on the side of this river called Rainbow Hot Springs. And those are really nice hot springs right next to the river. Yeah, but those are the only ones that I know of. But yeah, they're just really conservative though at the school. Like I got kicked out of school there. I got kicked out of the education department after I was done with everything. All I had to do was do the student teaching, and I would have gotten my degree. I did all of the practicum hours. I took all the tests. I took all the classes. I completed all the classes. And then at the last minute, the lady's like, who I was supposed to do the student teaching for, is like, oh, something came up, can't do it. So I traveled around the world for 2 years, and I came back, and I was like, okay, let me do it now. They're like, we're not going to let you do it. You got too bad of a grade in your last class. So I was like, oh, so no teaching certificate for me, but I take all the classes. Okay, thanks. Assholes. And yeah, it's because they didn't like me. They thought I was like this weird dude who lived out of my van. Like all the teachers hated me. When teachers like, you still out of your van? So their dude's like, you have really bad handwriting. And this other dude's like, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the education department because you got busted peeing behind high school. And this other dude's like, you have to cut your dreads off because you're going to distract all the students. And yeah, and I got a bunch of D's there for like no reason, just because the teachers didn't like me. Yeah, so the teachers there, people who work there, at least them, they're just, yeah, it's kind of like us versus them. They don't like the hippies. They're like, goddamn hippies come to this school because this school lets any dirtbag in, so I have to deal with these stupid dirtbags. But they're actually stupid, those teachers. I had a bunch of teachers who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. There's this one lady, she'd just stand in front of the class, it was like Southwestern Studies, and she'd be like, yeah, I know this one famous like writer of Southwestern literature. Oh yeah, and I know him too. And she just babbled nonsense. I don't even remember what the hell. And we were supposed to read a book or something. She gave me a D in the class because she's like, yeah, in your paper about something. And then she's like, and for some reason, out of the blue, she's like, and this is when I was done with my paper already. Like we were supposed to like turn it in the next day. And she's like, oh yeah, and then the Turabian, when you do your bibliography, it has to do this, and then it has to do this, and then this. And I was like, that's not the, oh yeah, that's how I want it done. But it was different from the Kate Turabian book, which is like where you're supposed to do the bibliography. And it was different, and I didn't want to redo it because it was like word processor days, and I was like, fuck it. Anyway, she gave me a D in the paper because of that. I guess it was because of that. And then I got a D in the whole class, and I got a D in figure drawing because I did all the assignments. I don't know what his problem was. Yeah, so I got all these D's. Yeah, so teachers don't like if you grow your dreads out and live in your van. Yeah, teachers aren't gonna like you, and they're gonna kick you. They're gonna fucking get you kicked out, not let you pass go. So whatever, I guess I can't be a teacher now. Maybe I'll write them back and I'll be like, yeah, I have my degree. Because that was one of the reasons they didn't want to let me do placement, because I had one more class to take before the degree. But they're going to let me do the placement before, so they like change their mind. Fucking idiots, dude. You pay all this money, you give them jobs, and they don't want to fucking accommodate you by giving you a certificate. So whatever. That's how it is. I shouldn't have gone to school, but I had fun. I had fun while I was there. Smoking a bunch of weed all the time. Whatever. Yeah, and there's some big mountains there on the edge of town, just on the north, that you can climb, called Mount Silver, which you can see from the city. I climbed it once at night. Should have climbed it during the day. Don't know why I didn't do that. Then there's this other ski resort, like 15 miles from the city, which I never skied. There's like one lift, a bunny hill. Then there was actually a ski resort on the side of this campus. Our college had its own ski resort, but it never worked. I guess it had gone out of business before I went to school there. But I could still see the lift. They should have turned it on. It would have been awesome to ski. But they did have a ski jump, and I guess they had a ski jump competition once because this kid came over and was like, I did the ski jump. And I saw it. I thought it was out of commission, but they used it that day. I should have done it. Actual real ass ski jump. But yeah, I guess it's a big time mountain biker town, college now though. They get like the national championships. It's either between them and Boulder every year. So like pro bike racers come out of that. Like Tom Danielson, who just got 9th in Tour de France, went to Fort Lewis, and then like Todd Wells, who went to the Olympics twice, went to school there. And then my friend Eric went to school with me there. He was state champion that year in '93, and then got second 18 times in Europe, got a pro contract, but then the team fell through. He was Scandinavian Masters title holder for road race last year. I was there when he won. Yeah, so like lots of badasses go there. And like my friend Andy, the rock climber, he'd like climbed El Cap in a blizzard. He did a bunch of like 8-5 climbs with me. Like where I was his belayer, and I was like risking my life doing that. But he was a badass. Yeah, so lots of badass climbers, mountain bikers, road bikers, and like kayakers go to school there. And there's not a whole lot of homework. Like those teachers, it was like a joke. They never asked me to do any homework. Like in my education departments, those dudes who didn't like me, they never asked us to do anything. We just show up, and the teacher would be like, yeah, we're going to talk about like what you think about if teachers should be allowed to, I don't know, hypothetical. Oh, if I was a teacher, I guess I'd do this. People sitting around. Other people seem to be having fun. But I was just there like, what the fuck? And then like they'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to do some homework today. Sorry, but you know, homework. Sometimes you just have to do homework. You're going to have to like do like a little lesson plan of like what kind of class you would teach like in a subject or something. And it was like 2 pages. And I'd be like, all right, where you go, you know. And the other classes weren't like that either. There's only one class I remember that really required any homework. And that was this history class. History of, I wish I had majored in history. History of Central America. This dude, Michael Fry, really good teacher. Fucking gave so much reading. Oh my God. And I should have done the homework because it was interesting. I got a C in the class, but I totally deserved it because it required so much goddamn homework. Oh my God. But yeah, he was a good ass teacher. If all the teachers had been like that, because I had a bunch of idiot teachers. This one lady called, I can't remember her name, but she was teaching like, I had her when I was a freshman with this other lady, at Lillian Lang. Yeah, they're like, we're going to give you like no below a B in the class. And then I get my grades and it's a C. Like they changed the grades. But I had this other class with her and she was teaching like linguistics. Something that, because I had to take that shit because I was a fucking English major. I chose English major because I wanted to be able to write. I thought I'd be able to like write a book and get a college degree for it. But I was never asked to write anything. I had to take stupid literature class or stupid linguistics class. And then all these like English of romantic English, all these like writers of English who like from the Industrial Revolution who were just talking about depressing shit. And I couldn't even understand what they were saying. Like Yeats talking about like fairies in the trees. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell did I sign up for? Yeah, I don't remember any of the classes I took in college. It was totally pointless and useless. Didn't learn a goddamn thing. Idiot teachers. But I remember that linguistics class. She's just like, the verb and then the and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So if you go to school there, don't go to school for an education. Go to school because it's cheap education and because you get to mountain bike. And then you get hopefully, if they don't think you're too weird, they'll give you the certificate at the end. And I do have my certificate. I have my degree. Like that's fucking gonna help me get a job anywhere. And I can't be a teacher. I was like, cool, I'll get an education to license because that'll get me a job as a teacher and I'd love to be a teacher and there you go, problem solved. Yeah, that didn't work. Didn't get my education degree. But my dad died and I got the oil royalty stuff, about $1,000 a month, so I don't have to work. And when I do work, I can just live in my van and get a job as a window washer. I love that. So I guess I don't have to be a teacher. I can just get a job as a window washer. Oh, and I am a teacher. I do YouTube videos. Lecturer, teacher, same goddamn thing. Just not professionally. Or a substitute teacher. But anyways, that's Durango for you. Not the nicest people there, though. I met a lot of, like, assholes there. A lot of assholes going to school there. And, like, a lot of, like, asshole, like, locals who just freak out on you for no reason. Like, I was getting my car towed from my friend once. And this dude pulls up behind us, and he's like, "You fucking assholes, get the fuck out of the road." It's like, dude, I'm getting my car towed from my friend. Once I was on this road ride. It was like 5 of us. It was me, Ned Overin, Bob Roll, this Cat 2 racer, and then this pro mountain bike racer named Ivan Zervansky or something like that. And we're riding down the road, totally fucking no traffic, middle of nowhere, and this car, dude, pulls up, and he's like, fucking slams on the brakes in front of us, jumps out, he's like, like screaming at the top of his lungs, "You motherfuckers don't fucking ride breast to breast like that, taking up the whole goddamn road. There's only 5 dudes riding like this." And he's like, you know, people were like really friendly. Like Bob Roll was the only one talking. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna fucking call the cops. He's like, well, go ahead. I'd love to meet you. Call him up. Guy takes off. And then like 2 minutes later, this cop car comes up and pulls us over. He's like, yeah, I just called the cops, said that you were like deliberately riding in the middle of the road, and then you were like being rude to the dude. And it was like, oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous. Cause there's like bikers everywhere, dude. Like pro bike racers fucking everywhere. And you'd think that they'd, like, if you're in the middle of nowhere, they'd be like, oh, cool, you know, like part of the economy, part of the culture, part of everything. But yeah. And then like we did this like this protest for like environmentalism. We did this big march, and we're all standing in front of some building, and all these like lumberjacks are like, "Fuck you, hippies!" Oh yeah, and like a lot of people don't like hippies like at the school. They're those fucking hippies, goddamn hippies. And like I was kind of hippie, dude. I remember I hitchhiked with my car once, and like I was throwing my thumb out. I just wanted to see if somebody could like jumpstart me because my car just suddenly died. Like it never drove, dude. And like all these dudes were like nobody passed me. It was like all these college kids because I could see their cars were packed with their stuff. 100 cars go by, none of them pulled over. Then the one dude pulled over and like banged on my thing, and it started. Yeah, and then there's like the gangsters in the south part. They actually jumped my friend. There's like 4 or 5 of them. They jumped my friend, and I was stoned out of my ass. So I wasn't thinking. So I had my bike, and I just dropped my bike, and I started punching them in the face. Then my friend runs off. They start punching me. So then so they're all like 3 of them punching me at the same time. So then I got like disoriented, and then so only one of them was punching me. So I was like, this isn't working. I got to run home. So I ran home, but then they had my bike, riding around on my bike. So I was like, give me my fucking bike back. And they're like, fuck you. I was like, give me my fucking bike back. I was like, all right, I'll fight you. I'll fight you for the bike. They're like, okay. So we fought. And I was doing okay. It was kind of like taking turns hitting each other in the head, basically. I got hit really good. I saw stars, but he got me up here. And then I got him right in the eye once. And then he charged me. Those UFC takedown charge things. But he couldn't take me down. So I beat up his back with my elbow like 12 times. And then we both fell down. And then I got up and I was like, I don't want to fight anymore because I was out of breath and tired because I was fucking high off of my ass. And I was tired too because I'd been working all day. I worked all day, and then I was working on this climbing gym in there all day. And then right then the cops come. And I guess they dropped the bike. So the cops brought me my bike back. But then they wanted to like search the house. And they confiscated all these pipes, and they thought I stole my bikes. They were like looking at the bottom of my bike for the serial number. I'm like, dude, we just fucking got jumped by a bunch of gangsters. Like, what are you doing? I guess it's because I was like hippie looking dude, you know, like, oh no, criminal. But yeah, like I had like landlords there were assholes. I had a landlord there who I got an apartment. We got a trailer up on the top of the hill. He's like, yeah, he wouldn't leave. He was hanging out there working all day long. He's charging us like top dollar, like just as much as you'd charge for a house. There's no water or electricity. He's like, oh, don't worry. Tomorrow. And then they're like, okay, we're going to take off. But it's like, what about the water? He's like, he finally hooked up electricity after like a month of having no electricity, literally. And then we only had enough water to like flush the toilet once a day or something. And then when they left, they didn't clean up their house. They left like all the drawers were filled with like dirty underwear and their clothes, which I had to. And then when I left, I cleaned up the house perfectly. And then they didn't give me my deposit back. And I asked them why, and they said, because we left the house a mess. And I cleaned everything up. So it was like, yeah. And then I had another landlord there who like didn't give me my deposit back, like 30, 50 bucks, because he said I busted out the screen. And it was like a little bit scratched, but I should have done the walkthrough when I first went there. And then I got rejected from an apartment that I wanted to do, like this crappy apartment. And I was like, why? And they're like, we're not going to tell you why. We don't want you. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll just live in my car. And that's when I started living in my van, which is awesome. Until the cops told me that I couldn't live in my van. Oh yeah, and then the cops, I was sleeping in my van once in summer school in the campus. And the cops fucking bust me and they gave me a ticket. I just show up and the judge is being a total asshole. He's like, what were you doing? I was like, sleep in my car. He's like, how do you plead? I was like, I don't know, guilty. I guess I'll sleep in my car. $40. So I had to pay 40 bucks for sleeping in my car on the campus. I thought campus was like separate from this town. So yeah, weird. Yeah, so there's like lots of like, I don't know, dude. I can't say that it's the nicest place. Not as far as people, not the nicest place. But the town, like the village, like the scenery and the mountain biking you can do. Mountain biking is, you can't beat the mountain biking. Yeah. But, and the ski resort's actually pretty nice. I wish I'd skied there. I only had a ski season past the first year. God, I was so lazy. Looking back, I was such a lazy ass fucking bastard there. I didn't ride or ski at all as much as I should have. Anyways, but yeah, I had lots of good friends there though too. I should go back there, hook up with them again, because I think some of them still live there. Yeah, it's definitely a place I could go back to. I like the size of it. But see, this was like a long time ago, like in the 90s. People are a lot nicer now than they were back then. People, the world's changing and stuff. But anyways, that's what I think about Durango. Oh my God, that's a long time. Okay.